to the Crown Spin, where it's all about the flow. We got the hottest podcast, no need to go slow. We're here to entertain, gonna let it all show. Get ready for the situation, straight from the get-go. We got the panel flowing, got the speakers on fire, talking about the topics that everyone desires. Crown family with the king, that's our empire. Tent is contenting, taking it higher. We bring the heat, we bring the vibe, we bring the energy. The Crown Family Podcast is where it all begins.
That was my reason for speaking up and speaking out from me doing it. I didn't even know there were videos on YouTube. People just kept going to my live on my Instagram. And the truth is, at that time, that was nothing but a diary. I had 20 some odd years of dealing with this game, dealing with this industry, dealing with this business, writing music, performing, traveling, in the studio, writing, producing, years of that. All of those stories happened in the background that nobody knew about or nobody understood. Oh, well, why did you do this? Or why did this happen? Why did that happen? At that moment in my life, I wanted to be honest about it. And I really don't see what the problem is with someone wanting to be honest about their life.
Absolutely.
I wasn't just sitting online gossiping about people. I was talking about things that I had experienced, things that I had witnessed, people that I thought got an unfair shake, people that were not revered the way that they should have been. Work with some amazing and legendary people. I've had incredible experiences, and for all of that, I've had equal negatives. I can't even lie. And it's a shame, because to be honored with the gift of making music and performing music, whether you sing or you play a guitar and the drums or whatever it is you do, if you invest your life into it and you are good at it, you should be respected, period. There are so many artists that don't get the respect that they deserve. And in that moment, for me, I wanted to be honest about me. When people asking me questions about people that I know and lie about how I actually feel about them or lie about the kind of person that they were. One thing I can't stand is when somebody, asks you about a person, they're terrible, but instead you'll give them a good review. Why are you doing that? You're inviting that person into that without giving them fair warning. I don't get it. I don't get what's so wrong with being transparent. And that's what I was with Storm. He had a lot of questions to ask me about a lot of things. He said, I seem to have a lot of information. He had went through other interviews. He picked through some information and he asked me questions. And guess what? I answered them honestly.
Absolutely. And you went viral for your transparency, okay? You went viral exposing the industry and decided to share your experiences with Storm Monroe. In the interview you did with Storm Monroe, you garnered over 1 million views, pushing Storm Monroe past 100,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you is, why Storm Monroe? You had already done so many other interviews.
Well, he was the first YouTuber to reach out to me. And after I saw all of those videos that people were taking from my lives, from my Instagram lives, and putting it up there, just me talking about me, just me talking about how I feel. If I'm outraged by something, if I think something's amazing, if I think something's great, if I think people should check something out, that's what I was doing. And when he wanted to talk to me, I said, this is it, especially when I found out his age and how young he was. I said, this gives me an opportunity to talk to another generation that I might not necessarily have access to. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be able to talk to them honestly. And more than anything, just make sure people aren't fooled about what they're going to experience getting into this business. So many young people get into this business and have really no idea what they're getting involved in. And then by the time they know it, they're caught up in this situation. They're signed to this production company. They're stuck in this contract. They're this, they're that. If you got knowledge about how it works and how it's going, you can make a better choice for yourself. There is not a young artist that I've ever met that ever came into my life where I didn't try to give them something good for them to protect themselves, to have a better advantage, whatever the case may be. I've always been a giver like that. So that's what I saw in talking with Storm. We can bridge a gap. We can talk. We can have conversations. And that's why I chose to do it. Honestly, that was it.
Absolutely. So, things were good between you and Storm until things weren't good. Where did things go wrong with you and Storm? What
I
happened?
couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
You told me something about him coming to Texas and you
Yeah,
trying to hook
I had
him up.
invited him to come down. I had
Hmm.
asked him to come down. We were talking one day and just talking about stuff. We used to talk about creative ideas, talking about him using his platform to develop scripts since he, because he's a good writer. For crying out loud. After me, he got an interview with Rosie O'Donnell and not Rosie O'Donnell,
Roxanne.
Roseanne Barr. He had the interview with Roseanne Barr and she sat there and praised his writing. And I'm like, this is an excellent opportunity for you to show your skills. Because everybody kept saying, oh, Storm Monroe is this, he's that. And I said, there's something special about him. There's something special in him. He's a really awesome creative. And that's why I continued to talk to him, because I found that symmetry with him.
And what happened when you tried to hook him? You were trying to hook him up with one of your friends, and
Well,
that's when
yeah,
things went left.
I guess that was a mistake. So we were on the phone and I had invited him to come down to Dallas because I wanted to introduce him to some people that I thought he should meet. And he was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then he was telling me how he had family in the area. I don't know if it was that conversation or a conversation before, but he said his dad lived right in the Dallas surrounding area. And I'm like, oh, when he told me where he lived, I'm not going to say where it is, but when he told me where it lived, where it was, I was like, it's only a couple minutes from where I'm at. Oh, cool. We can go meet your dad, hang out with your dad, whatever, have dinner. And he was like, oh, no, 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 no. He was totally against the idea of spending any time. Matter of fact, he made it very clear he had no intention of spending any time down with his dad and just wanted to stay in the city or whatever. And I said, well, when you get here, I have a friend. I asked him first, are you single? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, I have a friend I want to introduce you to. I think you two would hit it off. This friend is a man. Now let me make this let me make it crystal clear. Actually, hold on. Let me turn on my camera. I'm look you right in the face. See, it's me. It's me.
Piriana to the Puree. Yeah.
It's not a clone. It's just me. Hair wrapped, earrings, Nirvana t-shirt. It's me. So y'all can be straight. Let me say this to you and say it to you clearly. I had never talked to Storm before that moment about his personal life or his sexual orientation. I had never asked him any questions. We never had that. We didn't talk about that. We talked about art, we talked about communication, and we talked about building a bridge and creating a community, because there's so many awesome and talented people on YouTube. And I'm like, you guys need to be building a real network here. I was like, you guys you're running pop culture news. You're on top of everything. I was like, you guys should be working together more. There should be more synergy. I said the same thing to Sean Davey. And, that was that. Up until that point, that was the first time I had asked him anything about his personal life. I asked him, was he single? He said, yes. I thought he was gay, period. That's not no shade. That's not me trying to throw him under the bus. I did not know anything about that boy's life, his personal life, absolutely nothing. I naturally assumed he was gay. That was just my opinion. I've been around gay men my whole life, bisexual. I have gay friends. I have transgender friends. My life has been decorated with LGBTQ and so on and so forth all my life. I naturally assumed he was gay. No shade. I'm not saying that to take a shot. I'm not saying that to take a jab. That's what I thought. So I said I had a friend that I want to introduce him to. And his tone kind of changed a little bit. And he paused and he was like, well, I'm straight. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought you were gay. Once again, that's not throwing shade. That was my honest opinion of who I thought he identified as. Would I truly be wrong? All of the women mocking dances, when we would do the show me your nails thing, the way he was dancing, the way he was, he would get up and do his little twerk or whatever the case may be. I'm sorry, I just don't know a lot of straight men that behave that way. Matter of fact, I don't know any. That's not shade. That's just a fact. I made that natural assumption. He said otherwise. But he became so offended by it. And I don't understand. If you're straight, why are you offended by it?
Ooh.
Why would you be offended by it? If it's an honest mistake and someone just
how did you find out that he was offended? Did you guys have a conversation about him being offended? What happened?
Oh, absolutely not. When we got off the phone, it was quite pleasant. I told him I'd talk to him soon. And guess what? 2 days go by. We hadn't spoken. I hadn't changed my rhythm in anything that I was doing, whether it be posting or working on trying to put a performance together, whatever the case may be. I didn't do anything different. I went online And I was checking my comments and people started saying, I think Storm flipped on you. Storm did this to you. Storm did that to you. And Storm blocked you and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what would he block me for? I don't know why he would block me. I just talked to him a couple days ago. Everything was fine. Oh, yeah, well, he did that. And I'm like, well, you know what? Let me just call him and find out what's going on. I call him. His phone number's blocked. Oh, so you blocked? Got it. Even then, I didn't have anything negative to say.
So he blocked you and then he went online and started wearing you out.
Oh, yeah.